Welcome to Girl Bible, hosted by two women who aren't afraid to dive into anything and everything. This podcast is all about exploring life, laughing through the chaos, and finding common ground with people from all walks of life. No topic is off limits, no vibe is too weird. Come hang out with us every week for real talk, random tangents, and plenty of laugh. Oh, hey, girl. And we
Oh,
back,
hey
just like
girl,
we
hey.
promised.
Just like
I'm
we promised.
so pumped for this episode because dun 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 dun, we're talking about astrology. And if you know me, which no one does, you know me, but no one else does. If you're a listener, I am so into zodiac signs, astrology, all things stars. And my friend Logan is new to
Yes.
astrology, I would
I
say.
was just gonna say, I'm just getting into it mainly because Keisha loves to talk about it so much. I'm definitely someone I know my sign, I know the other signs, but I couldn't tell you like, oh, me and so are super compatible because I'm a rising moon in Aquarius and they're a rising moon in Sag or something.
Yes,
But I
exactly.
know a little bit now because Keisha.
And I don't use it as like fortune telling in any sort of way. You know how they can have like those zodiac signs and here's what your day looks like type of thing. I used to do those when I was younger, like a teenager. They used to come out in Cosmo actually, which shout out Cosmo, I miss you. Cosmopolitan magazine was so good. You would have loved it, Logan. It's so up your
I'm
alley.
sure.
It was such a good magazine. Anyways, I used to love reading those, but now I mostly use them just definitely to get to know someone a little bit better because I feel like you can get so much insight to someone's personality and kind of their strengths and weaknesses and how to approach them in a manner that's most successful for that person and will be well received, especially as a Gemini myself.
Yes. And I feel like if anything, you use it as like backup why two people get along or why some connections work and some connections you don't think work. Like I think
Exactly.
we're always talking about that
Yes.
because I feel like I've talked about it before. I feel a super crazy special bond to not only Keisha but also her daughter Blake. I would say me and Blake are soulmates. She's literally 3. But Blake or Keisha's always like, that's because you're an Aquarius and Blake is a Sag or something
Yeah,
like that.
I do say that.
So
Exactly. But I do think there's something to it. I think it's crazy to just ignore it. I think the time and place where you were born is magical and special and not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences on this planet by any means. Like, if you know anything about me, again, no one does, only Logan. So, Logan and my family. So, I don't believe that anything is a coincidence, which is why I find astrology so intriguing and so
right,
interesting.
because it's right there. So how can you look away from it or say no, that's just a bunch of crap? Especially if things start kind of falling more into place and it's seeming more to line up, then why not lean into it? In my opinion.
Yes. And it's just fun too. It's fun to look it up and learn more about yourself. So, we're going to go through the signs today. We'll talk about all the different signs. We'll talk about Logan and I's signs and why we think we're so compatible. And then we'll kind of go from there and see where this episode takes us. Shall we?
Yes, I'm so excited. This is funny too because I think a lot of our phone calls consist of us talking about signs. That just the other day, I think we spent I don't know, remember when we were on the phone and we were just
Yes,
like
yes.
looking up certain signs and connections and like our whole birth chart, well my birth chart I think
Yes,
Keisha's
and
did
mine
pretty
too.
well.
I looked up my
Yeah,
whole birth chart as well, and it's so
yeah,
fun.
it was funny.
Okay, we're going to start with Aries, the ram, the first sign of the zodiac. And you would know if you're an Aries if you were born between March 21st and April 20th. And in our family, we've got two Aries. We've got
Yes.
Logan's mom and
Yep.
my sister.
Yes.
And they're
Two very
two
special
fire
people.
signs. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Now, when we say fire, there's elements to the signs as well, and I think those are also important, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about Logan and I's sign. Um, but Aries are a fire sign. They are action takers. They take initiative. They are brave. They're leaders. Um, when they're in their element, I will say, yeah, that's when they take charge and everyone's listening too. Like, people listen to an Aries when they're talking.
For sure. I think if anybody tuned in to our fashion episode and you got to listen to Kayla speak on fashion and just trends, all the things, after like when I was listening to her speak, the rest of like my shopping after that, I was like could just hear Kayla in the
Yeah.
back of my head be like, "Oh yeah, polka dots are in. Like look at this." Like just
Yes,
things like that.
exactly. And I
And I
think
think
that's just true for Aries in general. They have such a command when they're saying something that you want to listen. You're like, "Oh, this seems
yes.
really important. I should write this down."
Yes. My mom, she's a teacher, and I think she also has that power of just when she speaks, people are like, "Oh, okay." Like she's always been able to break things down for me in a way that it's easier to understand.
Yes.
And also just her being the oldest in her family on, my side of mine and Keisha's family, I think everybody kind of stops and listens when she has something to say.
Yes. Now, some of the I'm not gonna call them negative, but let's just say when they're having a hard
Weaknesses?
time, yeah, we could call them weaknesses. They can be very aggressive. And Aries is very intense. That's the only
Yes.
word I can use to describe them. Their words can cut you down like a freaking just boulder blowing over a stick. Like it's just and it's very intense.
Yes.
Anyway,
Like,
that's an Aries for you.
yeah.
Very intense, and their feelings are so intense like that too. And then their fire comes out, and they're just like, they're coming for you.
Yeah. To say
Agree.
the least. To say
To
the
say
least.
the
They're
least.
they're coming for you.
Next up, we have our friends, the Taurus, which also in our family, we literally have three Taurus signs. We have
Oh, yeah.
Ainsley, Addie, and Quinn. So,
This is this is interesting for me because being like they're all very different, but I think you could definitely find similarities between them. They're all three like separate entities when I think of like similar personalities in our family. So this is kind of interesting.
it is interesting. Um, I think that has to do with your like sun rising and moon rising signs too, because those can tweak what's going on, your individual expression of your sign. But the Taurus is the bull, second sign of the zodiac. You're a Taurus if you're born between April 21st and May 21st. And you are an earth sign. So Aries was fire, Taurus is earth. Okay. Taurus is all about being loyal, stable, reliable. They love like the comforts of their own home. Now, if we're going to get into some weaknesses, stubborn, rigid, sometimes considered closed minded. Sometimes.
Well, I
Some,
think that holds true for the three that I know very well. Not that they're super close-minded, but
no,
most of
maybe a little stubborn.
all three stubborn for sure. Definitely loyal.
So loyal.
So loyal. And what was the first, or what was the other positive trait of a
I
Taurus?
think I said stable, loyal, determined,
Yes,
reliable, patient.
they like to be at home. Addie's definitely a homebody. I think Ainsley is a little Ainsley and Quinn, or maybe a little like to be out and about a little bit more, but I think they definitely like their downtime at home as well.
I'm sure their age also plays into it. The kids that we're talking about are still children. So,
Yes.
you want to be with your friends. So take these with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
we're just giving like a quick general overview of these little signs. Taurus, shout out to Taurus because they hold a huge part of our family in
They
there.
do.
Which something ironic about Logan's family and the family that I've married into is that the two sisters, Dan's two sisters, had 3 kids each. All 6 of the kids are born 2 months of the year. I'll repeat that. All 6 of the children were born in 2 months of the year. They're all born in February and they're all born in May.
Yep.
That's it. That's the
And it's
craziest
mixed.
thing.
It's mixed between like the sisters, which kids are born which month. But it's fun, in my opinion. A lot of
It's
people are like,
3 and 3.
I hate sharing month or like our birthdays being so close, but I like having my birthdays around the same time as my cousins. I think it's fun. And when I was
You
younger,
only
we
have
all used
one
to,
cousin. You have your
and
brother.
a sibling,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry. Yes, thank you for
It's
correcting me. It was sibling.
clarifying.
Yes. But it was just fun because it gave us a reason to all get together like in February. And I love having a February birthday because I feel like it's right after Christmas and there's nothing else really going on other than like Valentine's Day. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And now we're going to get into my favorite sign. Just kidding, but kind of not kidding. It's the
No.
Gemini, baby. The twins. It's the third sign of the zodiac. You're a Gemini if you were born between May 22nd and June 21st. I'm not saying you're the best, but I'm not saying it. No, I'm kidding. And we are the air sign. We love being flexible. We love being fast. We love go, go, go. We love being curious. We're the wanderers, I like to think. And we're also the yappers. Um, Now, some of our weaknesses, we can be a little shallow, a little gossipy, um, a little flaky, some people might say, a little wishy-washy.
Ugh.
I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying I have been in the past. Okay. So when I'm saying like strengths and weaknesses, when you're in your strength, think of it as like your highest consciousness. You're in your best self. That's when your strengths shine. And then when I'm saying weaknesses, like you're just not in your best place. So your negative slash weaknesses are going to come out because you're not in your best headspace, mental space, physical space, etc. So it doesn't mean, oh, all Geminis possess these things. It just means at any point in time, the ebb and flow of life, sometimes you're going to catch them way up here and they're going to be exhibiting all those great strengths. And sometimes you're going to catch them on the downward slope and they might be a little flaky, they might be a little shallow.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Everybody has bad days. So
Exactly.
I think it's just funny because I would say all the things that you listed off, not you haven't like been known for, but like I've seen Keisha in maybe an era of that, which is okay. It's
Which
totally
I
okay.
would actually say I considered myself flaky for like a decade or more of my life. Like my 20s, just call me salt because I'm flaky dog. like
Call me salt. That's a new one. That's a new
like
one.
every time people were like, "Let's make plans." I was like, "Yeah." Like,
Yes, yes.
"Yes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet up with you. Never." And it had nothing to do with the person. It's literally all on me. I would just like flake out at the last second and be like, never mind, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Which, it's fine. There's worse things, in my personal opinion. And
Thanks,
we
girl.
talked once about protecting our peace, and sometimes that's what you have to do.
Y-
Sometimes.
True. And like I said, you're not in the right headspace, so I would just cancel. Like, oh. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's wrong. It's very wrong. And also, it's one of my pet peeves now. Don't
But it's
flake.
because you're a Gemini. God forbid a girl be a Gemini and can't help it.
Also, the twins are known for having two personalities. So one minute you might talk to me and I might be like, "Oh my gosh, girl, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this." And then the next day, Logan will talk to me and be like, "I'm not doing any of that." Like
Yeah,
that's what, and I'll
that's
just
why.
flip flop back and forth between the two things and be like, "I don't know her. I've never heard of her."
Yeah. Or it's just like we'll be on the phone and she'll be like, "Okay, I gotta go do this, this, this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, good luck. Have a good rest of your day." And then I'll call her maybe a couple days later and I'll be like, "So how did that go?" And she's like, "Yeah, I didn't do any of that. I just sat on the couch and watched Bachelor in Paradise and posted
First of all, I've
TikToks."
done that like one time.
Yeah, that was just one example that I gave.
Okay, fine, fair. Now, I would like to do some honorable mentions for Geminis because we've also got a lot of those in our families. We've got our grandma, your grandma, my
Mhm.
mother-in-law, Judy, Gemini,
Or Jewy, if you know her.
Ju-
Jewy.
Gemini woman, a woman after my own soul and heart. Then her son, aka my husband, Dan, Gemini. So we've got a Gemini relationship going. Love it. Spicy. That's all I can say. Then my dad is also a Gemini. So we've
Woo
just
woo!
got air signs on air signs flowing through this family. That's 4 Geminis in the family. It's a lot. That's a lot of personalities. That's 8 of us total.
Total. And
If
that's
you're
true.
counting each of our personalities.
That's very true.
Then
To
we've
say the
got
least.
the Cancer. They are the crab, the 4th sign of the zodiac. You're a Cancer if you're born from June 22nd to July 22nd. Their element is water. They're a water sign. And we don't have any Cancers in our family. So, but we have known some in the past. One of my good friends was a Cancer, and Kayla once dated a Cancer. And
And my grandpa, he was a Cancer too before he passed away. He's
no, he
July
wasn't.
10th. Yeah, he was.
No, he was August 10th.
Oh, cut that out. Cut that out.
No, I'm
Cut,
keeping it in.
cut that out.
Fully keeping it in.
Cut that out.
No, I'll be keeping that in.
Uh,
Anyways, cancers are just little sweeties, okay? They're all about caring, they're all about nurturing, they're all about emotional security, they're all about connection, they're all about family and home and just all the emotions coming through in the most nurturing like a warm hug way, if that makes sense. And then I'll say their weaknesses, they can be moody, okay? They can get caught in the past, all right? They can be defensive. They can be a little bit needy. And they can easily get their little feelings hurt and be like, "Oh, you did this to me." It's like, okay, the rest of the signs have to come together and be like, "Move it along, Cancer. Get over it. It happened X amount of time ago."
Wait, who
Nobody
was
has time for
Kayla?
that. So there's our Cancer. Let's move on to Leo's baby. This is my hazy boo boo sign, the lion, the 5th sign of the zodiac. You're a Leo if you were born between July 23rd and August 22nd. And my little hazy boo boo is a Leo, and he's the most Leo of Leos. Their element is the fire. They're a fire sign. They are creative, playful, a source of joy. They are actors. Like they are here for the moment. They are the center of attention. They love to express themselves and their individuality. I literally love them. They're like the divas of the signs, in my opinion. They're just like, bam, baby, look at me. That's a Leo. This is actually Logan's grandpa's sign.
Yes, this one. Sorry about that. Um,
Because
I
he
was
was
like,
born on August 10th.
yeah. What did I say? I
You thought
know
it
it's
was
August 10th.
July 10th. You
I
thought it
was like
was
looking at the
July.
day. Well, I
Yes.
think this is July. Like I still think we're in July. Like
Okay. That's
I keep
fair.
doing that. I keep doing that. I mean, it's not really because I know his birthday's August 10th and we just celebrated it, but it's
I
what
feel
it
that.
is.
Now,
Um,
some weaknesses of a Leo. Did you want to say them? Or you want me?
Wait, no, I do
Okay.
not.
They can be a little bit narcissistic, a little egotistical. They can lack empathy. Um, there's a lot of that going on with a young little Leo, especially because, like I said, it's like an ebb and flow. So when he's at his peak, when he's flowing, it's so fun. It's just watching his self expression. Everyone's loving it. It's all eyes on Hayes. When he is having a moment, he's coming for you. He's coming for you. Similar to an Aries in that way, he can come for you quick. Like the lack of empathy is not a drill.
I think with him too, it's like either he loves you or he hates you, and it can go from like it's like it's minute to minute whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Depending on how you're influencing his life, that's where he like, oh, you helped me out. I love you.
Yes.
Oh, now I hate you. Oh,
Yeah.
now I love you again. But they're so fun.
Oh,
I love me a fire sign. I think they're so much fun.
he is. He's so much fun. Whether he hates you or he loves you, he's so much fun.
And Leos and Geminis get along great. And I'm not saying we planned it out, but we didn't not plan it out. There were some signs we definitely were avoiding while having kids.
Like which signs?
I don't want to say. I don't want to hurt
Mm.
anybody's feelings. Okay, moving on. We've got Virgo, baby, the maiden, the sixth sign of the zodiac. You are a Virgo if you're born between August 23rd and September 22nd. This is an earth sign. Okay. These people are the ultimate planners. Like, that's all I can say. They are detail oriented little kings and queens. Everything is perfection in a Virgo's eyes. Perfection can be mastered in a Virgo's eyes. They're all about organization. They're all about responsibility. They're just like, tick, 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 tick. And I know this very well because all my besties are Virgos. All my besties are Virgos. And they all picked this random Gemini girl to be their friend. Like, that's crazy.
This random Gemini girl.
Seriously, it's crazy to me. Honestly, the only people I talk to are Virgos. Now,
I'm not a Virgo.
yes, outside of me and you, everyone knows we talk. We literally started a podcast together. If you think I'm not talking to Logan, you're crazy. I talk to her the most out of anyone. So she doesn't talk to me the most out of anyone, but I talk to her
That's
the
not
most out of
true.
anyone.
I do.
I'm not her best friend, but she's my best friend, if that makes
That's
sense.
not true. That's really
It's a
not
one-way
true.
street.
It's not a one-way street. It's not.
It's just
It's
funny.
not.
I'm
I
just
tell you all the
teasing. I'm
time. I
teasing.
know.
Okay, the weaknesses of a Virgo. They can be hypercritical.
Also,
I'm
just want to add
laughing
the
because
same.
I'm just thinking of the times when all my really, really close friends were like, no, everything you're doing is wrong.
My dad is Virgo, so I feel like
Oh, this makes so much sense. He's such a
yes,
details guy.
yes, he is.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
September 11th. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my
Virgo.
god. Okay, keep going with the
So
weaknesses.
now it's making sense, like, why it's like this. It's you're just born this way. That's what I'm saying. It's not a
Right?
coincidence.
Like,
You're literally born this way. So they can be hypercritical. They can be a little bit nitpicky. They can be workaholics. They can almost be self-sacrificing to a fault. Like, they can put other people's needs before their own, almost to the extent of like overextending themselves. And they can be a little neurotic sometimes. Again, this comes in ebbs and flows. So obviously, you can't have a perfectionist without them also having some form of like slight neuroses, you know?
yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, my dad, God love him. But he definitely is a he gets my mom the most that nice and thoughtful gifts, and like my mom doesn't even realize, oh yeah, you know what, maybe I do need that. Or my mom will say, oh, I really would like one of them. It'll be months later, my mom forgot she wanted it, and my dad will just like pull it out and it'll be like, oh. Like, my mom's always
Yes.
cold, and he got her a coat that is, like, heated. He's
Yes,
such
I
a
love
lion.
that. And
It's
when
really
she's
cute.
saying this, like, Chad is the most thoughtful human on the planet Earth. That's just how I feel, and it's like that with all my Gemini friend I mean, not my Gemini friends, all my Virgo friends. I don't have any Gemini friends besides Dan.
Damn.
Dan, my
Okay.
dad, and Jewy. Um, Virgos are just like that. They just hold on to those little things that you thought were like a one-off conversation, and they don't forget. They pay such close attention to detail, and they're so thoughtful and generous. Their ability to think about others is next level. I can only aspire to be like that someday. I try my best, and I'm still like very mediocre, bottom of the barrel with it. But I try. I
She's only
try.
a Gemini. She's only a
I
Gemini.
know. What can I do? What's a girl to do? I can't help it. That's who I am. But yes, I would agree with what Logan's saying. Just they're so thoughtful in the best way. Okay. We've got our friends, the Libra, coming up. The scales, balance, the seventh sign of the zodiac. You're a Libra if you were born between September 23rd and October 22nd. They are an air sign, just like a Gemini. Okay. When a Libra is at their best, these are the most peaceful, balanced, charming, sweet, uh very diplomatic, just there's something so calming about a Libra person. That's all I can say. They're like a breath of freaking fresh air when they walk in because they literally exude just peace, tranquility, chill vibes. There's nothing squirrely about them. They're just like mellow fellows. However,
The gulp? I know the listeners could hear the gulp that you just did. That's so
however,
however,
sometimes Libras can be so indecisive. I feel like it's like the downside of being balanced all the time and wanting to keep the peace is that their indecision and lack of initiative is painful at best. Like painful at best. That's all I can say. Ask Kayla. She's dated a Libra. Our mother's a Libra. God bless her soul. And if you know my mom, it's like, yes, she's just so peaceful, calm, relaxed all the time, just goes with the flow. But this woman cannot make a decision to save her life. I love her guts out, but she will sit there going like
huge.
this, weighing both choices. And it's like, just pick one. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And I say that as an ex indecisive person. I used to not be able to make a decision to save my life. My mom would be like, okay, yeah, you guys were good in the store. You can pick a candy. I would sit there staring at the candy so long that eventually I would just be like, I can't pick one, never mind. And my sister would be like, can I have hers? And I'd be like, that's how
Oh,
indecisive I
that's
used to be
funny.
as a child. And my mom is indecisive. They can also be a bit superficial sometimes and a little codependent occasionally.
I don't know. I don't know if those
Allegedly.
allegedly.
We don't know.
Gigi, I
I've
feel
never
like
seen.
Gigi's really in her calm era, if anything. I don't know about.
She's been like that her whole life. If anything, she used to be calmer. My mom's going through menopause right now. Shout out my mom. God bless
Shout
her.
out Gigi, yeah.
But if you can imagine her being even more calm than she is right now, she was just like the most calm person I've ever met for my entire life.
She's a trooper.
I know. She's just a G, dog. She's a
She is.
G. They call the Libras the peacemakers, man.
She
That's all
definitely
I
is
know.
that. She
Right?
definitely is that. For sure.
Right. She's
For
matched with my
sure.
Gemini dad, so what a match.
Somebody had to do it.
Hilarious. Okay, next up, we've got Scorpio, the scorpion, the eighth sign of the zodiac. You are a Scorpio if you were born between October 23rd and November 22nd. This is a water sign. I have only had one unfortunate encounter with a Scorpio. It was my ex roommate that
Oh,
was with
yeah.
Kayla.
Yeah.
And I don't want
Well,
to get into it, too deep, but all I can say is trifling.
trifling. She was.
All I can say is trifling. Like, I'm not going to get all into it. I'm not going to say names and everything, but trifling. Now,
I've
this
only
doesn't mean
heard.
I'm judging all Scorpios, okay?
She definitely is. So. I've only heard one story about this roommate, and I only want to say that it was stank. Stank nasty.
That's all we can say legally. No, I'm kidding. There's only like 20 people that listen to this podcast,
Like,
so I think it's fine.
literally, I think it's fine too.
Now, we're not going to be biased, so we are going to say the good things about Scorpios. If you happen to be born between October 23rd and November 22nd, you and your highest consciousness, when you are being your best self, can be transformative, fearless, super deep. I personally haven't seen it.
Oh,
Shots fired. No, I'm
I
kidding.
thought you said we weren't going to.
I know. I'm not. That was a joke, everyone who's listening. It was a joke. If you're a Scorpio listening to this right now and you're like, oh, poo on you, I respect that, honestly, because yeah, why am I saying this about somebody I don't know? I'm sure you are. Transformative is one of the greatest words you could ever use, I think, to describe someone. Fearless, I mean, if you're in your era of being your highest self and you're feeling fearless right now as a Scorpio person and you're deep, like I know they're supposed to be super into their emotions and in touch with their feelings and stuff. More power to you, and I believe in you. And I don't judge anybody when I first meet them, by the way. I give everybody a shot. So if you tell me, oh, I was born November 1, I'm still going to give you a shot. And then when you become manipulative, obsessive, controlling, secretive, or self destructive, I'm just going to slip out the back door.
Be like, I knew it.
I freaking
I
knew it,
told you.
Scorpio. I'm just kidding. I think, isn't Drake a Scorpio?
I think so.
I
But
feel like he
I
always
don't
talks
know.
about that in his songs.
I feel like that too. But I know Mariah the Scientist is a Scorpio.
Oh, okay. See,
And
and Logan loves her music. So
I love her. I love her. So
I actually bet a lot of musicians are Scorpios because if you're really deep, that's how you make those bangers. You know what I mean? If you
yes.
can get in tune with your emotions, I bet you write beautiful like poetry, music, etc., and can
Yeah,
express yourself in a way that the other signs probably can't.
yeah.
One of the archetypes of a Scorpio is the destroyer. So just live with that. I'm just kidding.
When was this particular girl's birthday? I just am curious. We should look
I
up her
honestly don't know. I
chart.
just knew her sign. That's all I knew. That's all I
That's
knew. We
funny.
can't put her on blast by saying her birthday, dog.
No, we can't.
Come
No,
on,
okay.
bro. Next up, we have the Sagittarius, the Archer, the ninth sign of the zodiac. You are a Sag if you were born between November 23rd and December 21st. This is another beautiful fire sign. And it's my Blakey girl sign.
Blakey girl.
Blake London Russell, a
Yes,
Sag, a
she's
true
3,
Sag.
and she's already in my top 10 favorite people. She's 3.
I feel like she quickly rises to everyone's top 10 upon meeting her.
She's the best. She's the best. The
I
best.
mean,
I
I
love her.
feel like that with a lot of Sagittarius people. Sag friends are so freaking fun. That's all I can say. They are, when they're operating at their highest level, optimistic, enthusiastic, they're generous. They are seriously just out seeking, exploring, having so much fun. That's all I can say. They're like a good time in a little bottle.
Oh, she's the best. A
Now,
good time in a little bottle for sure. Okay, let's see these.
some of their weaknesses, did you want to say?
I'm just looking on whatever, but this says impatient,
Hmm.
bluntness, and then it says tendency towards over optimists. So
Oh,
like they're a
okay.
little
That's not
too.
so bad. I was gonna say they can be a little judgmental, a little self-righteous, maybe a little bit fanatical is how I would describe that, like, over optimism. They
Mhm.
just become a little bit crazy. That's all I
Yeah.
can say. A little bit kooky. But to me, like, none of those things are that trashy.
No.
Compared to like a Gemini where they just described us as being like shallow and
Shallow,
flaky and just like,
gossipy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, your thing is that you get a little kooky every now and then, and
Yeah.
maybe you're judging some folks here and there when you're in your self righteousness. Like, okay, maybe you are better than us. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Maybe you are. I would say Blakey's definitely a little bit impatient and a little bit blunt. Just in her 3-year-old self.
Yes, yes, 100%. I feel like when you're younger, maybe you express more of like the negative sides of your sign just because you haven't developed yet. There's no way you can be in your highest consciousness.
Right.
And at the same time, like when they're in their blissful moments, you get to see like peak existence too, which is so fun.
Right? Because
It's the
she's
best.
just a little ball of joy. And she's always looking at people and being like, I love you so
I
much.
know.
I like, yeah,
Next
she
up, we've got the Capricorn. The
is.
goat, the 10th sign of the zodiac. You're a Capricorn if you're born between December 22nd and January 20th. You are an earth sign. Now, Capricorns at their peak existence are super hardworking. They're usually successful. They're always committed to whatever it is that they're doing, and they're reliable. Now, I had a bad experience with the Capricorn. It was my ex-boyfriend. Uh the only ex-boyfriend that really matters because everybody else was just a blip in my story, but this one tried to wreck my life. This Capricorn came from my freaking soul, spirit, mind, body, everything, and darn near ran off with it, but don't worry, we're okay. We came out on the other side. But
Wait,
because of
this isn't
this,
the one that you moved out the house for, right?
what do you mean moved out of the house for?
I thought your dad kicked you out of the house, actually,
Oh,
maybe.
that's yeah, I was like, I got kicked out. I never moved
I
out
was
of my
trying
parents'
to
house.
say that you
Yes,
moved
this
out.
is the one. This is the one that I got kicked out of the house for. Um, in a in their worst state, we'll say, or in their lowest consciousness, they can be controlling, cold, distant, ruthless, authoritative. Some of their archetypes are the dictator, the CEO, the old man. So just like think about
The
that.
dictator, the CEO, the old man, that's crazy. Those
Um,
are
I would
crazy.
like to say my sister-in-law Jill is a Capricorn, and I'm not gonna call her an old man. Logan. I would say she has
I
a lot of the
I
higher
oh, okay.
consciousness displayed. She's definitely reliable, hardworking. She's very committed. She has like 1,000 jobs. They're known as being like the worker bee, I think,
Yeah.
of the zodiac. Like she's always got 17,000 different jobs going on and she manages to do all of them. I'm like, I don't know how she has the time, but she does it all. And that is like a telltale sign of a Capricorn, in my personal opinion.
And she's definitely loyal, like, for sure.
Heck yeah.
She rides
Yes,
for
she
her
does.
her fam.
For her gang. You don't
Yeah.
want to be on the other side though, because like I said,
You
it
do
can get
not, you do not.
really sus really fast. Like I've never been on the wrong side of Jill, but like I said, that ex darn near
That
destroyed our whole family. Like
oh, yeah.
that's not a drill. That's how ruthless they are, or can be, I should say. On that note, let's move on to my other most favorite sign in the whole entire zodiac, Aquarius baby. the water bearer, the 11th sign of the zodiac. You are an Aquarius if you were born between January 20th and February 18th. And this is the other air sign. And it happens to be
Me, I'm an Aquarius. It's my favorite sign, obviously.
obviously. I
Obviously.
think Aquarius are honestly the most fun. They're tied with Sag for me as they're tied with Sag and Leo for me as like the most fun humans on the planet. That's just how I feel.
I would agree.
Prove
I
me
think we're
wrong.
very fun. I think we're very fun. All right, let's get into my good
Okay,
trade.
at their best, highest consciousness, they are brilliant. They are visionaries and they are humanitarians. Do you know what that means? Like, they're for everyone. I feel like people don't understand this. If you're a humanitarian, you're literally for every single person. You want to see everybody rise and be their best self. You're a visionary, which means things like this podcast only exist because Logan's like, let's do it, man. If she has an idea, she wants to see it through. She wants to like see the big dream come true moment. And I think they have the most genius ideas of all time. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think I have the most genius ideas of all time, so I'm not quite there yet.
But
Hopefully
you're
that'll
only
come along.
21, so
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That may not be something that I a trait that I really possess, but we'll
I
see.
also think Aquarius are so bubbly,
I would definitely say that I'm bubbly.
like bubbly and outgoing
Yeah. People
in
probably
my
think
personality.
I'm too much sometimes.
Well, those people are not enough. I've
Um,
started
I
reframing that
agree.
every time I think that, oh, I'm being too much because I can come on really strong too when I meet somebody and I get so excited. Like the more I talk to someone, the ideas just flow and I get my energy up, 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 up. And when I can see someone being like, instead of me being like, oh, Keisha, you're being too much, I'm like, they are not enough. They cannot hang. Like,
I like that.
sorry, gang.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you cannot hang.
Yeah. If you want to vibe, you got to vibe. But if you're gonna just like want to chill in a corner somewhere, like, ugh, you cannot hang with me. Goodbye. Not in a mean way, but like this train's moving. It's moving at 100 miles an hour. So you either get on or just stay where you're at. Now, I'm gonna let Logan share what she thinks are the weaknesses of an Aquarius because she's an Aquarius.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking up on Google because I'm not as well. I need a little something to look at because this is
I
my
think that's good. You don't want to just
yeah.
I'm also looking on a website. I'm not just
Oh,
coming up
okay,
with this
perfect, perfect.
straight off the cuff
I
because
kind of
what?
thought you knew. I kind of thought you had
I
this
do.
idea.
I do know most of this stuff, but it's like I don't want to just be feeding people lies on the like
Right. Or
on
just
our
like
podcast.
your yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This says some weaknesses can be that they're detached or aloof, which okay, actually I'm not okay. Prone to being unpredictable, may come across as eccentric, and can be rebellious. And those are all something that I personally resonate with. So, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, for the
No,
most part.
100%. I thought that was
Perfect.
that's pretty
100%.
perfect. And
Right?
sometimes they can be a little bit cold or distant, but I don't think it's coming from like a negative place necessarily all the time,
No.
whereas being caught up in something else that they're doing, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
I'm the worst about like Keisha said, she's like, I'm always talking to Logan, but she's not always talking to me. Honey, I'm not talking to anybody unless you're standing in front of me. I'm so bad about texting people back, stay like being up to date. I'm always missing things in the news. I'm just like not good at being caught up in like being talking to everyone because I get so distracted. It's not anything about who you are or
Yes.
like how much I like you or how much I don't like you, genuinely, it's because I'm distracted. And
Yes.
or I'm like just oh, I need to do so many other things right now, so I'm not gonna like I lose my phone like it's nobody's like it's my job. It I
And
could
it's
make
not
so
just, like, casual. It's not like she's like, "Has anybody seen my phone?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, it's right here." It's like, "Has anybody seen my phone?" And we're, like, searching the entire home. We're
they're like
looking under things. We're looking everywhere. We're searching in bags. We're looking under clothes. Like, that's how bad it's lost. As in people are like,
yes.
"Did you even have it?" And she's like, "Well,
Yes.
it's dead. So the last place I can see it is way
At the
over
mall
here."
3 hours ago. Yeah,
We're
I
like
when I was at Keisha's house, I was genuinely concerned that I accidentally threw it in the laundry.
but
And
she lost it like 17 times. Dan was like, "Ah!"
he was like and I'm like, "Sorry, bro, I don't work off my phone like you, have it attached to my hip 24/7."
It's also funny because you're always losing your phone. I literally am always losing my phone. And Dan's mom is always losing her phone. So it's just like the three people, women in his life, constantly asking him where the phone is. I'm like, "Hey, babe, have you seen my phone?" He's like, "Why are you like this?" And 9 times out of 10, he's like, "I've got it in my pocket." I'm like, "Thank goodness, because I didn't even know where I set it down."
Yeah. No, yeah. So, yeah,
So
life
funny.
of the Aquarius is crazy. My Bela's an Aquarius, so our, like she's, like, been my longest friend, like, my closest best friend ever, and we work in that way because we're both we don't need to text each other 24/7, but we can just be like, "Miss you." Like every once in a while we'll just be like, "Miss you." We'll be like, "Talk tomorrow?" Question mark. Do we talk tomorrow? Never. Only time we ever talk to each other is when one of us like just catches us at a random time that it's actually perfect.
That's so
But
funny. I didn't
yeah.
know
No.
Bela was, an Aquarius. That's so
Yes.
fun. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it is
this
so
makes
fun.
a lot
It's
of
so much
sense.
fun. Yeah,
She
it
came
does.
to my house for my son's 2nd birthday, and she was just so much fun. I had a blast with her. I'm sure she just doesn't remember me, but I remember her, and she was
She does remember
so
you,
much
and she
fun.
says the same thing. It was like a crazy ask of me because
We
I
lived in
don't
a tiny townhome at the time.
yes, and I just was like, "Please, can my friend come with us to Bellsman? Like, I think you're gonna love her. She's so much fun."
Okay. We're finishing up with Pisces, the fish, the 12th sign of the zodiac. People actually say that if you come to Earth as a Pisces, you're finishing like your cycle of soul journey on Earth, and it's the last time that you're like spawning onto Earth since it's the final sign of the
That's
zodiac.
interesting. That's really
It
interesting.
it is interesting, especially when you learn about a Pisces. So, if you are a Pisces, you are born between February 19th and March 20th, and they are a water element. They are empathetic. They're able to see the good in all things. They're inspirational. This is at their highest. So, this is when they're at their peak consciousness. Um, Now, at their lowest consciousness, they can be really codependent. They have some naivete. They also can have a lack of healthy boundaries. They are extremely emotional humans. So, my brother is a Pisces, and he describes this as when he walks into a room, he can feel what every single human in the room is feeling. That's how he described it to me. So, like, if he walks into the room and everyone's feeling angry or anxious or sad, he literally feels it himself and just has to
What
like work
the
on not taking on everyone else's feelings. We have another Pisces in the family being Cameron, Logan's cousin, my other
Cammy?
niece, one of my other nieces. Um, and again, these are emotional beings. Like if you meet a Pisces, you gonna see some tears, okay? They can't help it. They're a water sign, and the water's coming straight from their eyeballs. That's all I can say. Like, they are. That's not to say my brother's crying all the time or anything like that, but I think probably for a woman it's more popular. I'm sure he still has moments, but he literally described it as being able to feel everything from everyone all at once.
That's
That's why
insane.
social settings for him, or like when we go to concerts or festivals, blah, 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 it's so intense for him because he's feeling everyone that he comes within like 6 feet of. Just think about that. Heavy, heavy. They've
That's
been
crazy.
called the mystic. They've also been called the victim. They've also been called the savior. So it just depends on where you're at in your Pisces journey.
That's super interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. These are little feelers. You have to take care of your Pisces friends. That's all I
Yeah.
can say. I'm grateful that like Blake didn't come out of Pisces with 2 Gemini parents and a Leo brother. That's all I could say, because I don't think a Pisces in our group of 4 would have done very well, or we wouldn't have been the best parents for a Pisces child.
So interesting.
It is interesting. Now, I did want to make a quick note on Logan and I kind of touched on this a smidge when we talked about our nieces and nephews, or her cousins, in this case, cousins and siblings, sharing a sign, but being so different or being slightly different. And when you check your own birth chart, which you can ask ChatGPT, be responsible, because we know that uses a ton of water. So Logan and I have really
Pretty
cut
sure
down on using
20
chat.
gallons. 20
Yes.
gallons
So this
per
is a shout out for the earth. Like, don't use ChatGPT to be like, chat, what's up? Like every time you ask it a question, you're wasting water. So use it wisely. I do recommend using it for your birth chart. If you're gonna waste 20,000 gallons of water, then at
Oh,
least get
is it
your birth chart.
20,000? I don't
Did
know.
you say 20 gallons or
I thought it was
20,000?
20 gallons
Okay,
per
maybe it's
search.
20 gallons. That would make me
Maybe
feel.
it's 20,000 gallons.
I'm not sure.
I
It's
don't
a lot
know.
of water either way.
Either
So if
way,
you were gonna use it for your birth chart, be responsible and only type in one question, one loaded question. But you're
one
going to need to
load.
know your date of birth, which hopefully you know your birthday. You're going to need to know what time of day you were born, AM or PM. And you're going to need to know the place that you were born at. So your place of birth. And those things will give you your full birth chart, because depending on your sun rising and moon rising signs, that can affect how everything plays out. So I'm a Gemini sun sign and also a Gemini rising, which is literally so crazy. I'm just, whew, that's a lot of Gemini going on. Anyways, I think my moon sign, though, was a Pisces, which I found really interesting and made me feel more in tune, maybe with people's emotions and a little more empathetic than usual. I'm not sure. It also just tells you a little bit more about you as an individual, which I think is so fun to dive in and figure out who you are and why you are the way that you are. And it can also tell you about things that you either need to overcome or have overcome. In my case, I had a huge fear of being seen, and I had it my whole entire life up until this past spring, where I finally felt I got over it. Hence, I started posting online. Hence, we started this podcast. Like, all this stuff that's happening came after I healed that portion of my life. And it was literally in my birth chart. So it was like bound to happen all of this time, which I thought was so interesting. So if you feel stuck and you're not sure where to go, which I had come out of that on my own, but then I read about it and was like, this is exactly what I just described. If you're feeling stuck, it can be a great place to kind of get started and be like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm working on. And then you can kind of pivot from there and know exactly how to tweak things, if that makes.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely a really cool and like unique tool.
And from an astrology standpoint, obviously you heard that Logan is an Aquarius. I am a Gemini. We are both air signs, and therefore a podcast just makes sense. Air signs are known for the chat. We could just chat all day long. It's not our fault. We were born this way.
It's not our fault. Also, just really quick, I wanted to shout out my brother Carter. He's also an Aquarius, and I took up all that space, obviously, being an Aquarius, but yeah, he's also an Aquarius.
And he's so fun, just like you.
He's the best, yeah. So is my other brother. They're both the best, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, they are. Everyone's the best. It's a tie.
Everyone's the best. Everyone's the best.
Including Scorpios, who I know I kind of ruined that for them. So sorry.
You poo-pooed on them.
Okay, y'all. We'll end it there, but we're gonna have to do a whole nother episode on astrology because there's so much more that we could talk about. This was just like tip of the iceberg, and we're so excited.
We're so excited.
Okay, y'all. Until next time. Okay, babes, that's the tea, the sermon, the whole dang chapter for today's episode of Girl Bible. If you laughed, nodded, gasped, or even whispered, OMG, same, at any point, then my job here is done. Don't be shy, hit follow so your podcast app serves up fresh wisdom every week like it's your spiritual espresso. And if you've got a sec, drop a review. It helps more fabulous weirdos like us find our way home. Want to keep the convo going? Come say hey over on IG at GirlXBible. Seriously, slide into the DMs. I do not bite unless it's over snacks or opinions on zodiac signs. Until next time, remember, you're the main character, the plot twist, and the moral of the story. Stay bold, stay weird, and stay flipping iconic. This is Girl Bible signing off.